Welcome to the Maguire Podcast. My name is Brian Cooper. I am the Vice President of Business Development at Maguire and your host for this podcast. At Maguire, we've been helping to store and protect quality water for over 100 years. On this episode, our guest is Stacy Wrightsman. Stacy is the Chief Culture Officer at Maguire. She's a lifelong learner and energetic connector. Stacy drives Maguire's human resource and culture building initiatives as Maguire's Chief Culture Officer, recently joining the leadership team 6 months ago after working over 20 years in the healthcare sector. Stacy lives in Brandon, South Dakota with her family and enjoys all things Minnesota sports and activities outside. Stacy, welcome to the Maguire Podcast.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Let's talk about culture in construction. Culture and the employee experience have been a significant topic of discussion, in recent years in lots and lots of different industries. It seems like it's the new buzzword you're hearing everywhere. Why is that?
Sure. Well, I don't have maybe the magic bullet answer, but I can give you a little bit of my thoughts on it. A lot of what we're seeing as a shift really, I think, happened post-pandemic. You take a look at what employers were looking at as employee needs. Pre-pandemic, you're looking at pay and benefits. Flexible working environment wasn't really as widely talked about.
Everybody talked about it as like, oh, Google does these things,
right.
But nobody else
Highly
is.
creative, thought leader industries, marketing industries maybe had that. But just in your general vernacular as human resource professionals, we really were looking at the core things of your pay and benefits, providing fair and equitable policies, procedures, et cetera. But post-pandemic, like I said, there was really that shift in our employees' mindset, and I think it was taking a look at not only examining how to best care for our people in the way of pay and benefits, but the employee themselves really drove their needs. And I would say companies that could adapt and be flexible to allow their team members to bring their full selves to work really were the ones that I think started this shift into employee experience, this shift into the expectation of what culture really looks like in different industries.
So talking about different industries, why is it so important in construction? Because when people think about construction or trades, a lot of the time it's hard work, it's labor, it's getting up early, it's staying late, it's all of these things. But why is culture becoming a shift inside of construction?
Sure. Yeah. There's a lot of competition with quality staff, and you're absolutely right. It's imperative that we explore other ways to recruit and I say inspire our potential team members. Simply put, production matters, metrics matters, revenue matters. But if we can take a look at those team members and inspire them to flourish in what they're doing and to find a purpose beyond just that paycheck, I think you're getting a more productive laborer. You're getting a more productive construction worker. And trades really are also just a beautiful industry. Speaking here locally, we are here in South Dakota. If you look at the number of permits, we are trending at $1 billion
in Sioux Falls, right?
Sioux Falls, So, this industry is booming. When you're taking a look at going to school for something, when you're taking a look at what a future trade or skill may be, construction industry is where it's at, Brian.
Welding, plumbing, electricians,
absolutely. Right.
What does that look like? Because I think part of what you're talking about in that culture piece is because the industry is booming, because unemployment is so low.
It is.
Team members or people looking to move from one company to the next, looking to get into that industry, have more choices and more, I don't want to say power, but more power to say,
absolutely,
where do I want to go and what team do I actually want to be a part of because of culture?
Absolutely. And that's why, for us here at Maguire, and I know we'll probably dive more into the shift even in the vernacular of human resources to culture, because I'm really proud of the work that Maguire's done even before I got here to really elevate that narrative. But yeah, no, it's the vote of 2 feet,
Right.
and so our team members are voting by where they're deciding to come or where they're deciding to go, and so good culture is going to trump again just what team members are looking for today is more than just maybe what they looked at a decade ago.
All right, you just used the term good culture. What does what does that mean? Because different organizations, different people, it's like, okay, well, we have a good culture here. What does that even mean? Right.
And funny you posed that. I actually on my way to this podcast, I had an opportunity to sit down with our director of safety and work comp, Larry, and he is a gem of a human being, and didn't plan on even discussing this really, but we just talked about, the importance of belonging and having that deep sense of belonging. And I said, Larry, that's gold, man. I'm going to be walking into this podcast and I have, some of my thoughts of what a good culture is, but there's something there, for people, even before they become a team member, Brian, how are we welcoming them into our space? And is there that sense of belonging? So for me, I define good culture, and I'm adding that deep sense of belonging as one of my definition pieces, but it's really knowing where you stand in the company. I do come from a strong human resource background where policy, procedure, and having that clear expectation of what am I expected to do for my role? Is there role clarity? Am I going to get consistent and honest feedback is so important. And so I do think that is a big part of a good culture anywhere, but something definitely that I hope to strive to continue to lead and embed here at Maguire.
One of the places too, and I it would be remiss if we didn't talk about it, is in the trades, in construction, safety. I don't care what construction company you're at, safety should be or is the number one thing because of the job that you're doing. And so I want to talk about that just in a broad sense of construction, but why is safety so important to culture in construction?
Well, for us here at Maguire, it's non-negotiable. I mean, it's very simply
It's one of the core values.
It is one of our core values here, so again, from the top level leadership here at Maguire, through and woven in all that we do here, committing to safety, it's paramount to the work that we do here. In the work that I help to lead with culture and human resources, we have a responsibility to make sure that our team members go back to their homes, go back to their hobbies, go back to their passions when they're not here at work. And so it's as simple as that. It's as broad and complex as that, but it is very serious and it, again, non-negotiable, paramount to the work that we do at Maguire and in construction. Could we do things sloppy and faster? That's not something we're even going to consider. The other thing I would also say from a recruitment perspective and a retention perspective, Brian, safety also benefits us with recruitment and retention. Again, in the time that I've been here at Maguire, I have heard several candidates come through the doors that said, I've heard Maguire is a safe place to work, and this is where I want to come. And again, they don't get too much deeper than that, but I can read on their face, and when they're going through their new hire paperwork and signing up their family for benefits, that they come here to put in a good day's work, but they expect to go home safely
To their families, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
And so I want to again be someone who helps to continue to reinforce that and lead that here. So
let's dig a little deeper into Maguire. We've talked about culture in construction kind of at an overarching level, but let's dig into Maguire. So we put out a strategic plan 2 years ago, and we recently, as part of that, you mentioned it earlier in the podcast, talking about human resources, and that's what our department used to be called. So Maguire changed that to be called quality of life. Why is that so significant to take that change from human resources to quality of life?
Well, it is the movement that we are in, I would say both regionally and nationally, but very specifically, I would say, Brian, to Maguire as a company. So again, we talked very generally about culture, employee experience, and the importance of that. Human resources function is very much integral into that, but the movement that we are experiencing here at Maguire is really moving from what I would call and what others would call more of that clan culture, moving into a hierarchy culture. What I'm very proud about is that the leaders that came before me here at Maguire were forward thinking to say, our team members flourishing is not just a byproduct of pay and benefits and their working schedule, but it's finding purpose and meaning in their work, finding a career path and trajectory that's going to elevate them into even, greater things than they could see themselves. And so here at Maguire, like I said, the work that I'm helping to lead is moving from that clan culture into a hierarchy culture, and quality of life encompasses not only the human resources components, but also training and development through Maguire Academy, culture building through what is upcoming a very transformational time in Maguire's history with our campus move here in Sioux Falls. So it really kind of wraps its arms around all of that. Super exciting.
Right.
A little scary, right. but something that I'm it attracted me to this position. I'll be honest.
Well, and we do, employee surveys, and it's one of the things that comes out from our team members saying these are the things that we would
matter.
Like. Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, all of our conversation kind of ties into one another because, again, you look at decades ago and safety, pay, benefits were very important, and they still are. But those are an expectation now.
Those are just a standard. They can't
exactly
that
to
doesn't
set
get you
ourselves.
Above that.
Yes, to set ourselves apart in the construction industry, in heavy manufacturing, we have to be more, and we already are heads and tails. I'm very proud of the work that's happened to this point. We're already on our way.
Vision, mission, core values. Most companies have them. Why are they so important to culture, and why are they so important to the culture at Maguire?
Well, for us, honestly, those core values are the lens in which we look at the world, and look at the world here at Maguire. And for me, I will be honest, personally, look at the world. Our core values align with some of my own personal mission statements, and as a leader, my core values. It's really, like I said, it's the lens in which we frame our conversations. It's the lens in which we have challenging conversations and deal with problems.
Yeah,
it's
everything.
Really, yes, it's really that schema and that worldview that we look at everything, and it becomes our North Star when we're looking at making some bold decisions. It is that it's that guiding principle. We may have competing priorities. We may have different goals along the way or across the aisle or around our leadership table, but really those core values should be the items that inform how we do our work here at Maguire. And I feel that they are. I mean, I do. I look at the work that we do in quality of life through the lens of those core values.
Yeah, which is great. What are some of those cultural initiatives? We've talked about, in construction. Then we've talked about Maguire a little. So what are some of those things that set Maguire apart, or the initiatives that you and your team are excited about for the organization?
For sure. Thanks, Brian. To me, it starts from the moment an individual applies and can see themselves as a Maguire team member. And so really, I would say in the next several months, our orientation and onboarding is going to look a little different than it has. Because again, really, not only hiring for the skills and the abilities that we need here at Maguire, but also, again, looking at our candidates and looking at our incoming team members through the lens of, are they striving for excellence? Is there that commitment to safety? Is there that passion there? And those are things that I'm just excited to actually make and continue to make actionable here in our decisions. And so to me, orientation, onboarding are just some of those initiatives. We may talk about other things that we're doing with culture, like our employee of the quarter and some of those things too. But I would say the work of our quality of life team in the coming months is really going to be doubling down on what the expectations are when you join Maguire.
Unemployment, we talked about it a little bit, super low nationwide. In Sioux Falls, even lower than nationwide. You talked a little bit about the employee experience and how that helps in recruitment and retention. Part of what you just talked about for core values is also part of that, is aligning team members. Like you said with you, do your personal beliefs line up? And so what are some of those things that you're working on in those areas with recruitment, retention?
For sure. Yeah.
To help team members.
For sure. Again, it may not be the top of the fold in the newspaper reel or in lights, but policies and procedures, again, moving from framework or moving from that clan culture into more of a hierarchy culture. I would be remiss if I didn't give a ton of credit to the quality of life team and the work that they do. But really just taking a look at our handbook, our policies, our procedures, again, that's basic stuff. Again, it's kind of like, I liken it to taking care of your home, and after 20 to 30 years, you need a new roof and you need to make sure that your windows aren't leaking. In the 6 months that I've been part of the Maguire family, I would say that right now I'm just making sure that the water heater's working, that we're getting a new roof, that we're making sure that the windows are sealed up. And the work that translates from that, Brian, is going to be our handbook, our policies and procedures and all of that. Now, while we're doing that, we are also loving on our team members. And how we love on our team members are things like, the initiatives that come out of the Maguire Matters Committee, the initiatives that come out of our Culture Committee. And so we meet on 6 times a year. The Culture Committee gets together and we talk about lifting up our team members. We have a program here at Maguire that is the Employee of the Quarter, and where we solicit nominations, and those nominations directly are based upon our particular core values. So every quarter, we're highlighting a core value lived out every day here at Maguire with very real examples, and those team members are lifted up. We do a lot of great things around the holiday season to, again, love on our team members. And so while half of my life is spent making sure, again, that the windows aren't leaking or making sure that the water heater works, the other part of the work that I help to lead is really not forgetting about every individual team member here and what is real to them, and what is what's kind of a day in the life for them, and how our team can meet them there.
Talk about windows leaking, roof leaking. We don't have any of that going on.
We don't. No, not at all.
However, we are getting ready to embark on a brand new journey. We're moving to a new state-of-the-art campus in Sioux Falls that includes main offices, fabrication facility, fabrication offices, a mechanic shop, all of these things. This culturally is a large shift for the organization.
Absolutely.
But it's an awesome shift. Talk about the new campus and what it means for Maguire and our team members and the culture that they're going to have.
I'm excited to talk about the new campus, Brian. So thank you for that question. So leaders, ownership, we knew that we wanted this new campus for years. And so the fun thing is I have the humble honor of stepping in at the time that it is actually coming to fruition. And so thanks to you, thanks to all of the leaders here at Maguire for casting this vision that I get to kind of hang in,
right?
hang out in. So I true thanks to that. So really, taking a look at it from a fabrication perspective and efficiencies and state-of-the-art equipment and all of that is so important. And we could have probably a podcast just to talk about that. I think our buddy Dan beat me to it.
Yes,
so check out the podcast
right
episodes
before ago.
before this one. So we're looking at ways that we can manufacture water tanks and water towers more effectively, more efficiently. How that impacts, again, if you're working in that fabrication facility, Brian, is with the equipment and with some of the new technologies, we're going to be able to keep our team members safer and also, I would say, more ergonomically working than we have before. And so again, where there are potential pain points, both literally and figuratively, we hope to keep those to a minimum in the new facility, which is pretty awesome.
Well, one of the things, too, that is a huge cultural shift is when we started talking about the design of a new campus, we enlisted the services of a company named Branch Pattern in Omaha, and what they're helping Maguire with is what is called a Fitwell certification. And it is all about people, and it's all about how people interact with the space, and will be the first organization in the state of South Dakota with the Fitwell. But how does explain Fitwell?
Yes.
Some of the high points of it, and how does that affect culture? Because that's what it's really all about.
Yes. So when we talk about human flourishing, when we talk about having your purpose and meaning, working in an environment where people can bring their full selves, that's really what Fitwell is to me. So if I could define what Fitwell is, to your point, it is very people-centric, people-focused. And so some of the examples that we will experience, team members will experience on our new campus, a beautiful walking path, green space, areas to sit along that walking path, opportunities to convene in more of a collaborative environment outdoors. Our buildings are beautifully constructed with windows, so we have natural lighting. We have stand-up desks in the fabrication facility, almost unheard of, that we've got natural light as well as HVAC. So we've got heat. It'll be climate
and air, right?
Yeah, climate controlled. And so again, nearly unheard of in a very large fabrication facility. As far as programming, healthy programming, making sure that, again, team members have healthy options, utilizing stairs, utilizing healthy food options in our vending machines, those kinds of things. But really, to me, what Fitwell does, again, from even more of a umbrella, it is a big statement for, again, Maguire and the vision that Maguire's leadership and ownership had for this facility, to say that this is so important that we are going to be, really putting our time, our dedication, and our money where our mouth is, that it is this important. And so we are receiving that certification, not without a lot of work from wonderful team members. Give a shout out to Parker for the work that she's done with really transforming what the expectations are for our team members. This is something that, again, when you join the Maguire team, probably by Q4 of 2024, Brian, you're going to be stepping into a completely different environment, Well,
and that's one of the things, too, is when most people go to build a facility, they look at it from as you talked about earlier, from revenue, from production, from these things. And those are important. But this process, the starting was, let's talk about team members.
Right.
And we actually had focus groups when we first started design to say, okay, everybody, what do you want? Let's throw all the ideas out. We're not going to be able to do all of them, but let's talk about it from an employee and culture perspective. And then we'll talk about those other things. And so even just that conversation.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Shows a cultural difference.
Absolutely. Again. Yeah. Well said. Fitness center, showers,
Yeah, fitness center on campus.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to have a community garden. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff.
Collaboration spaces, again, that are constructed not like your standard meeting room, but again, more opportunities for people really to collaborate and learn and discuss things in a different way and not just your normal cookie cutter box. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be on the move soon, and we'll probably have another podcast about this after we've gotten in and experienced some of these great things.
Right.
I guess my final question as we kind of wrap up the discussion is, how excited are you for the future? You've been here 6 months in this Chief Culture Officer role. I can hear the excitement in your voice. But how excited are you for the work you and your team are doing and for the team members at Maguire?
Oh, man, Brian. Again, I would be remiss to not give a ton of thanks to, again, those that helped to set this vision that came before me. So kudos, like I said, to you and the leaders here. A huge thank you, obviously, to the Quality of Life team. They do great work. They're the ones that, again, are doing the work that needs to happen to shift this organization to just, again, further instill this awesome culture. So I am super excited, Brian, for what's to come. I could talk about it all day long. I think the future is very, very bright here at Maguire. The trajectory is out of sight, out of this world. We're growing, we're developing. We are already, the nation's leading organization that does what we do with water tanks and water towers. So joining a winning team is pretty cool. And so again, very humbled to be able to do that. What we do is pretty simple. Again, it's foundational work. And I really look at it as, God's work. To be able to store and protect quality water is very important for all of us. So again, our mission is a good one. The work we do is solid, and so we've got really good things going. We have a great base of people here that care about what they do, and so again, it's just continuing to keep the momentum going in during this transformational move, and
I'd be remiss if we didn't say, if this conversation interests you and you're looking for a place to go to maguirewater.com/careers, and you'll see all of the great positions we have available, the things we do. And I'm sure if you get a hold of us, Stacy would love to talk to you about our culture.
Absolutely, I would, and our core values. So no, this is so much fun, Brian. I could talk about it all day long.
All right. Well, if you want to hear more, get a hold of Stacy. But Stacy Wrightsman, thank you for joining us today on the Maguire Podcast.
Thanks, Brian.
Remember, you can always connect with us by going to our website, maguirewater.com. You can ask questions by sending us an email at info@maguirewater.com, or you can follow or reach out to us on any of our social media platforms. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you for joining us on the Maguire Podcast.